In the intricately woven fabric of the modern world, geopolitics shapes our lives and futures in ways that are often not fully understood or appreciated. The delicate balance of power, strategy, alliances, and competition revolves around resources, influence, and leadership. But what ties this complex web together more than anything else? It's the global oil industry, an epicenter of economic might and geopolitical maneuvering. Let us pause for a moment and ask ourselves the first question. What has made oil such a central element of global politics? The answer lies in its multifaceted role. Oil is not just a commodity. It's a symbol of power, a means of control, and a catalyst for international relationships. The nations that control oil production and distribution, directly or indirectly, exert tremendous influence over world affairs. Hello and welcome back to Innovative Check YouTube channel, where we delve into the innovative and transformative projects changing our world. If you're new to the channel and enjoy learning about innovation stories around the world, you've come to the right place. Please subscribe, like, and comment to help boost our videos on YouTube. Now, let's begin. Now, let's delve into one of the most defining aspects of this international game of chess, the United States' use of economic sanctions, particularly against Iran. This strategy has been instrumental in maintaining the U.S.'s interests and in restraining those perceived as threats. Yet, the recent developments between China and Iran signal a seismic shift that challenges the very core of this traditional approach. To fully appreciate the magnitude of this challenge, it's vital to trace the roots of the U.S.-Iran oil sanctions. The complex relationship between these two nations stretches back to significant historical events, such as the 1979 Iranian Revolution. That year marked a turning point when the U.S.-backed Shah was overthrown, leading to a rupture in relations that has never fully healed. From allegations of nuclear ambitions to a plethora of economic sanctions, the United States and Iran have been locked in a tense and adversarial relationship for decades. Meanwhile, China's meteoric rise to the world's second-largest economy presents an equally compelling story. With initiatives like the Belt and Road Initiative, China has reached across continents, bridging gaps and forging alliances. This expansion has not gone unnoticed by the U.S., as China's thirst for energy has made it one of the largest importers of oil. Iran, aware of this opportunity, found a natural ally in China, setting the stage for what would become a momentous collaboration. The decision by China and Iran to shut down all U.S. oil sanctions is not merely a culmination of years of negotiation. It is the intersection of mutual interests and geopolitical ambition. This alliance transcends economic factors and evolves into a strategic move to challenge U.S. dominance. Understanding the intricacies of this situation requires recognizing the mechanics of the shutdown, a sophisticated system where China and Iran found ways to bypass the traditional U.S. financial system. Utilizing alternate payment systems, barter agreements, and even cryptocurrencies, the two nations sidestepped the U.S. dollar, the conventional currency of oil trade. This unprecedented shift in trading mechanisms marks a profound turning point, shaking the foundations of the global financial system. As the world watches, the immediate impact reverberates across global oil markets and, by extension, the U.S. economy. Allow me to pause here and ask a pivotal question. How did this move affect the value of the U.S. dollar, and what were the subsequent effects on the average American citizen? The decline in the demand for the U.S. currency led to a decrease in its value. The decrease in its value, thereby triggering inflation. Higher inflation meant the cost of everyday items soared, eroding the purchasing power of ordinary Americans. It's a poignant example of how international events can directly touch our daily lives. The domino effect of the decision by China and Iran was not confined merely to the realm of currencies. The U.S. stock market, highly sensitive to global shifts, reacted with sharp declines. Investments, pensions, and retirement accounts felt the brunt of this upheaval, affecting the financial stability of millions. Beyond the immediate financial effects, the U.S. oil industry, which had been experiencing a renaissance due to the shale revolution, suddenly faced decreased demand. Countries began to look at Iran as an alternative source, reducing demand for American oil and subsequently impacting the U.S. job market. But this move wasn't just an economic challenge. It was a direct affront to the U.S.'s role as the de facto global leader. For years, the U.S. had wielded sanctions as a tool to enforce its foreign policy. By circumventing these sanctions, China and Iran showcased to the world that alternatives to the U.S.-centric world order were possible. Here's our second question. What does this mean for other countries, especially those under U.S. sanctions? The audacity of China and Iran's move emboldened other nations to seek ways to bypass U.S. sanctions, potentially eroding their efficacy as a foreign policy tool. This development has the capacity to reshape global politics, illustrating that nations are no longer willing to play by rules perceived as disproportionately skewed in favor of the U.S. However, such moves do not come without risks. The U.S., with its military and economic might, may explore various means to counter this challenge. These could range from imposing sanctions on Chinese firms, engaging in cyber attacks, or forming alliances that could challenge China's global initiatives. The European Union, historically aligned with the U.S., now faces a dilemma. Would they continue to toe the U.S. line or consider establishing separate trade mechanisms with Iran, especially if economically beneficial? The world stands at a crossroads. The need for a diversified global financial system is underscored, perhaps one relying on a basket of currencies or even digital currencies. The dominance of the U.S. dollar has both provided stability and granted the U.S. significant leverage over global trade. But this event challenges that dominance, urging the international community to reconsider the way trade and finance are conducted. Such a shift could lead to a renewed emphasis on international institutions like the United Nations, the World Trade Organization, and the International Monetary Fund. Often criticized for being too Western-centric, these organizations may find renewed purpose in a multipolar world, acting as mediators and ensuring the rise of regional alliances. Regional alliances are another fascinating outcome of this shift in power dynamics. We might see the strengthening of groups like the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, the African Union, and Mercosur. These regional blocs could provide a counterweight to traditional Western powers, leading to a more balanced global order. This shift underscores the need for energy diversification. Relying solely on oil is a strategic vulnerability, encouraging nations to accelerate their move towards renewable energy sources like solar, wind, and hydro, and even nuclear energy. Lastly, the mention of alternate payment systems and cryptocurrencies is not a mere footnote. It highlights the importance of financial sovereignty and the allure of decentralized, nation-controlled digital currency. In a world where hard power tactics might be losing their edge, soft power becomes an essential tool for diplomacy. We're now at a point where we must ask our third and final question. What are the implications of this move for global cooperation and the common challenges that humanity faces? The emerging multipolar world order might force countries to find common ground on global issues like climate change, pandemics, and cyber threats. Cooperation amid competition might be the new order of the day, fostering an environment where nations work together to address challenges they cannot face alone. The incident with China and Iran is not an isolated event, but a manifestation of the shifting tides of global power and influence. It challenges the existing norms, presents opportunities for new alliances, and compels us to rethink how international diplomacy and trade are conducted. The United States, along with the rest of the world, will have to reimagine its approach to engage effectively in this new world order. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of a complex and multifaceted topic that will continue to shape our world in the years to come. Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes, please like and share the video and subscribe to get exclusive videos about how phenomenally China is developing and growing its influence. Your subscriptions and likes motivate us to generate more content, so please keep supporting us